Crystal, and it's here today. Let me adjust my camera so I don't look significantly shorter than Deming as I welcome everybody to the
We don't
happy
want to
hour.
give that away. Then
Exciting content ahead. We got some announcements. We have some new stuff going on. What a
right.
day! What a day to be here in this wonderful place called the Film
The
Strip Twitch
internet.
channel. That's right.
Can somebody let me out? I'm
Of the
so
internet.
scared. She's here with me.
It's the beginning of the early weekend. It's time. And you know what else it's time for? It's time to take a look at some new Film Sprint merch. First, we're going to take a look at the Mutt collection.
Gorgeous,
Yes.
stunning.
We have cool Mutt designs, cool looks, cool dealies. Got face masks if you want them. Got shirts if you want them. I feel like this is a guarantee. I think this is a guarantee shoe, and Dina wants this one. We got some cool merch here, tote bags. The Mutt collection is strong. I'm happy about it. But another great one we got is the Rando collection. If you want to identify yourself as a Rando,
And
you
who
can do it with
doesn't?
these bike shorts. Why wouldn't you? Why would you can do it with this fanny pack?
The fanny
You
pack
know
for
you're
me
going
is
to. In
that's a
many
hit.
colors. Many colors.
That's I mean, as many colors as there are time periods to get stuck in, which I
That's a
love.
fact. That's 100% true. I mean, I love the bike shorts. I love the leggings. I also do want to point out this wonderful. This was a Demic suggestion to put it on this yoga mat so that you look right at it as you're doing your sun salutations. That's a direct quote.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think that's kind of what I seek to channel when I'm centering myself for a few minutes every morning before the day really begins. And
absolutely.
I affirm my identity as a rando. I will say that I was on a professional
These are all great
call
options.
with somebody I had just met earlier today,
Yeah,
and I said I'd never really used dating apps because I'm old fashioned and I preferred to just get drunk in a place.
that's
And I
right.
think that this encompasses that spirit perfectly.
100%. If you like to just get drunk in a place, these rando items are just for you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here for it. All right. Well, Deming, how you been?
Sleepy, if I'm real with you. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. I've been doing the most. I've been, we had some fun travel. We had to come right back. Work's crazy, but I love my job, so that helps.
Mm-hmm.
But totally bonkers. Really important question in the chat that I do want to address, not to
Yes.
derail us.
Yes.
With regards to crop
Yeah, I'll
tops.
go back to the merch
Um,
here.
Now, what I think is important is that any top can be cropped.
That's right.
I think that most of my shirts, I just crop them right up.
The only limit is your
That's what.
imagination. These
That's
shirts have
right.
been are we've made sure to place the logo in a highly croppable location so that
It's
it
important.
can be cropped for you.
That's exactly
The
right. All
tinfoil
I do
spaceship
is
design
crop.
is coming, but is yet to be finalized. But will be coming a
Ooh,
little bit later. I can give you all a preview of that later. Sorry to interrupt you there, Deming. I was
not at
answering what
all.
was
I
told
also
you
want
in
to
the chat.
address some more chatter about the shirt I'm wearing.
Oh,
This is
let me
obviously.
let's show everybody your shirt again. Hold
Ooh,
on.
yeah.
Let's get on top of it here.
So my shirt is, of course, a tribute to my personal favorite of the Hellraiser films.
Sure.
When she decides she has to quest into hell to save her father's soul. That's all really important to me because it was really funny and gross. I love those movies.
Me too.
I accidentally did wear this shirt on a work call as well, and I think some people took it personally.
Oh no.
So
Quick preview of our other merch design to come here. Our tinfoil paperplate UFO design. I
love
want to
this.
believe. I like that one a lot. That one was created on TriStep Tuesday. So if you enjoy our TriStep Tuesdays, you can find out how I make merch real quick in Adobe Illustrator while not really understanding how Adobe Illustrator works. It's very fun.
That's fabulous.
It's
I
a
love
great time.
it.
Yeah. Um,
Um, how's your week going? I know you saw a
oh,
fun
good.
film that I did not plan on seeing, and now I kind of do plan on
I'll
seeing
be honest. I went and saw Jungle Cruise, the new Disney
it.
film about the ride of the same name, and it is pure straight enjoyment front to back. Uh, Genuinely delightful. The Rock, of course, delivers as always. Emily Blunt, fantastic as essentially a female Indiana Jones. And I mentioned this to you, Jesse Plemons as a German World War One submarine captain villain It is so incredibly fun. You know, I mean, Jesse Plemons is such a great bad guy in anything, but you so rarely get to
Absolutely.
see him do it in a comedy, and then when he does, it's like incredible. This is like a
Yeah.
new weird level for him. It's
We were
a
talking
ton of
about
fun.
Game Night is like another great movie that's an example of him just being like a hilarious
Yeah,
oddball, sort of like quasi villain. I don't know. Love
yeah.
him.
Uh, well, it was a good time. I took a known film sprint faithful Prolomar to that film. Oh, shout out by the way, Prolomar to saying she wanted a yoga mat. Well, if you want this Rat Tail Randy yoga mat, you can get it for the low price of $69.69. You're welcome. This is.
Price to satisfy.
Yep. Well, you know that's just another Rat Tail Randy special. Almost everything else on the entire merch store has round dollar prices. So
Right. The
because
rando collection is
yeah, we're
singular.
not out here to try to get you with marketing gimmicks. We're not out here to try to trick you into thinking you're spending less than you are on your items.
But I will say that that I think that having the 69 cents is pretty much just advertising something correctly. That's not a
That's
gimmick.
right. That's right.
Yeah, that's
That's just good marketing.
truth.
A whip that's a rat tail. I don't know where we can sell whips.
Etsy.
Oh, now that I think about it, I bet I could figure it out.
Yeah, I think you and I, if we
Wait,
put
hold
our
on, I
heads
have to answer
together,
this question from Juliet in the chat. Wouldn't a double 69 just be a regular? IDK sex works.
that's just
Much
confused
unpacked there.
missionary.
Oh boy.
Oh, shout out to me being really drunk on date night last night.
Ooh, talk about
Been
that for
there.
2 seconds while I go get some water.
Oh my goodness. So I don't know if anybody has seen I Think You Should Leave, which is my new obsession in terms of a sketch show that's on Netflix. I think that that has become like a language that Connor and I speak to each other in, is just I think you should leave references. So that was obviously factoring in very heavily on date night. Highly recommend if you haven't checked it out. I think that
Oh my
like each
god.
episode is like 20 minutes or something
At
less than
most.
that. It's all so funny sketches, like nothing like okay, perhaps crude at times, but nothing like upsetting.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with that fucking sketch show. Holy shit.
Mm. Hey, shout
So
out to I'm the
funny.
Wonder Band who's here in the chat. What's up, Allie? I haven't seen you in a
Hey.
minute. At the end of our happy hour. Really, really exciting. This is a fun one. Everybody in this chat's gonna love it. Okay.
I
Uh,
agree.
good stuff. Of course, yes. All kinds of great stuff. We got the merch link below if you want to get some of this new stuff. And we're going to keep making new merch, including we're going to do a repressing of the Big Deming Energy shirts that says Jeremy's good too on the back. Is that the so
That's
that's coming.
correct. Yep.
Keep an eye out for
Obviously.
that.
Shout out to God Eats Bagels in the chat for
Shout out,
that
shout out, shout
idea,
out. Yep.
that being the muse.
I don't know if it was his idea to make that a merch. We got to shout out Connor for that as far as turning it
That's
into
true.
merch. You
That's
know,
correct.
but that's happening. So if you want to show your love for me by also praising Deming more, that will still be available as it is always available here in the Twitch chat. Uh, we appreciate you and your submissions. Ooh, virtual hug from I'm the Wonder Brand. We appreciate your hugs. If you another way to hug us is to Venmo us at Filmsprint, and we will use that money to buy delicious prize money for the filmmakers.
Right.
All right, I want to talk about upcoming events real quick.
Yes, please.
Can I talk about some upcoming events for a minute?
Is that like a John Mulaney impression?
No, no, it wasn't intentionally one.
So I'm looking at my upcoming events.
The upcoming events are as follows. We got some exciting stuff coming up, and I'm going to tell you about it, and Devin's going to tell you about it too. Here it is. Okay, first and foremost, we got a thing coming up. We're calling it Film Sprint Masters in quotes. And that is our make good on our homebound anniversary promise, Deming, to do a film sprint round, you and I as team that is in the round, rather than
This fall, Sprint judges you, or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, something.
So for people that perhaps do not remember the prize, which round was this the prize
this was for homebound anniversary, the winners of that round, and there were three.
Yes. And there
They
were
got
3
to
winners.
each pick one of the 3 elements for this upcoming film sprint that we will compete in, and you are all welcome to join us in competing in. But
That's
it will be
right.
mostly just a for funsies kind of a round. So
That's
enjoy
right.
that. Fright Sprint 2, The
Oh my
Refrightening,
god.
is coming.
Don't tell mom the sprint keeper's dead.
It is
Ugh.
all October fright times, baby. We're starting on the 1st. It's going to be the first 10 days from Friday the 1st through October 10th, which is a Sunday. You get that 10-day window, make your scary movie. We're once again screening on Halloween, but this time we're doing a matinee. Very excited about this. Fright Sprint 2, the screening will be a matinee. We're not keeping you up all night with our spooks and our scares. It's going to be really fun and a ton of fun. And then early winter, AllStar Challenge. This is an exciting one for me to talk about because it is essentially our skills competition. That's the
That's
idea
right.
for this round.
I love this
Uh,
one.
so we're are we spinning the wheel for that? We'll spin the wheel for genres for the Masters round. AllStar Challenges is basically a totally different idea that we're still kind of fleshing out. That the basic premise is that we're gonna have like one day or short, even shorter term, like competitions where we'll be checking in on your progress throughout the day. Like we might give you an editing challenge or a graphics challenge, or
Like a sound design
yeah,
challenge.
or a makeup challenge, like something where you just have
Right.
to achieve some kind of effect. And that would be like a one day, just make this for one thing, and then we'll kind of
Yeah.
put them all up and have a discussion about them.
Like a
And kind
script
of have,
pitch
mhm.
challenge.
Yeah, each round will probably have a points total that'll add up to the end, getting a cool prize at the end.
Right,
All Star
right.
Challenge. I'm excited about that one. I mean, I'm excited about all
I,
these experiments we've had. Like, can we
I,
talk? Can
yeah,
you and I talk because we haven't appeared on this channel since Cinematic Universe on
that's
Saturday,
true.
which was
That's
so
true.
great.
Amazing.
I
Oh
mean,
my goodness. My favorite round thus far,
I think
and
maybe
you
me
all
too.
know, Fright Sprint's my season, and I
Yeah.
cannot wait for Fright Sprint 2, The Frightening. But holy cow, like this most recent round,
Hmm.
I was just like so impressed. The caliber of the submissions, the story that they all told, the cohesion between them, like the collaboration it showed. I'm like in love with these shorts, and they're ones that I've been sharing.
Hmm.
I don't know. I'm really happy about it. It's nice.
Someone wants the shirt that Deming is wearing.
I will find a way. I think I got it on Etsy. I'm
There you
sorry.
go. What we could do is we'll make a shirt that's a picture of Deming wearing that shirt. Easy, Dina. Easy,
Uh,
Dina. You're gonna get moderated for comments like that.
oh my
Oh
god.
boy.
But oh, I do. May I?
Wait,
Sorry,
let's.
not to like
Yeah. No,
not
of
to like
course.
backtrack us too much, but to Dina's question about are we still spinning the wheel for that for the challenge, I want to highlight for the one
Yes.
where Jeremy and I are going to be sprinting.
That's right.
Not only are the challenges going to be chosen by the winners of the
That's right.
homebound anniversary
That's
round,
right.
but
Thank you for
the
reminding me of the sprinkle.
we are fully crowdsourcing the
Yep.
genres. So that means we will be opening it up. We are making a delicate commitment to pretty much include any genre that's
Yeah.
feasible
Yeah.
on
Pretty
that
much.
wheel.
We'll
Um,
veto anything, but we're not going to veto it just out of hand. We're pretty game.
yeah, yes,
So we're gonna go for it on that one. I also feel like that's just gonna be such a fun one to figure out. Just kind of our
yeah,
own, like you and I have like we've written a movie together, which we've
that's
discussed on
right.
this channel before.
That's right.
Which is our NC-17 Final Destination
Carnal
sort
Destination,
of
yes,
soft core film. Yes. And that will be made at some point in our lives, but
obviously.
not today. But if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't have Fright Sprint. If it wasn't for Carnal Destination, that's a
That's
fact.
true. That is true.
So it's part of the canon. Um, I want to talk a little more about Cinematic Universe because I thought it
Please.
was so fun. Shout out again, congratulations to eFilms Pro for
Amazing.
winning our new point structure, which we're probably going to go with moving forward. I think that's going to be the
Yeah.
the Eurovision scoring system where we start with filmmaker points, then we add judges points, and then we add the audience vote. I think it was a ton of fun. We're probably going to keep that going. I think it's a really great way to get lovely films that represent our community as the sort of highlights. I also really didn't hate the audience votes for the different awards, but
Right.
we might clean that process up. Still, there's still some more reform to that. Congrats to Chad and Jason, both here in the chat, for your co-best actor wins, and to eFilms Pro for
Amazing.
winning almost every other award.
Well
Uh,
deserved.
well deserved,
Amazing.
absolutely. Really fun film, really truly, and it was great because we were talking about this earlier. The way that the films were ordered, I felt like was really great because it kind of
Yeah.
put set us up where that like eFilms Pro was kind of the Iron Man and got us through to Celeste's Avengers at the end as a full
That's
phase
right.
one of our cinematic universe. I
I
thought it
loved
was
it.
great. I loved it, top to bottom. Really
And I
fun.
loved actually just to kind of connect cinematic universe, I think back to this All Stars challenge that we just announced,
That's right.
where it's a skill based challenge. So what I also really admired about the cinematic universe is like a lot of different people got out of their comfort zone, and I think they got points that bumped them up on those points cup
That's right.
rankings, which
That's
I
right.
feel like that is an annual prize. The
One
All
thousand
Star
percent.
Challenge is going to be the last opportunity to get points for the Points Cup Challenge, and I
That's
think
right.
that that's going to be really freaking
It's
interesting
gonna be really
to see
fun.
people getting involved there and trying perhaps new things, maybe succeeding, maybe
Yeah,
getting some extra points that put them over the edge. I'm
that's
so
right.
stoked.
Right now, I don't have the exact totals in front of me, but I think that it's currently Ryan Harvey and Chad Hudson sitting in the 1 and 2 spots, with many of the other people in this chat sprinkled throughout the top skis here. Uh, this is a funny comment from me from Pro. Jason earned it. I didn't. I don't even like to take my shirt off at the pool, but you sir rock that crop top. That
Rocked
may be
it.
true, but few people are willing to out themselves as a furry, and you did that. So congratulations.
Gorgeous.
This was a really great round, really amazing, and
Yeah.
really to me like, I mean it's no secret that eFilms Pro, Chad called me Film Sprint Daddy or Film Daddy or something like that on his thank you speech on social media.
I
Um,
love it.
and in that role, I gotta say, I'm very proud of the way that this community has come together, and I feel like Cinematic Universe is a great example of that.
I
The
agree.
ways that kind of this whole community just grew together, especially you know at a distance from each other. So many of
Right.
these people have still yet to meet each other in real life. Like we had
Most people, yeah.
the Northern California party, and we had people who were in the same city as each other who hadn't yet met each other. Never mind the whole nationwide network of filmmakers that now is the Film Sprint family, and to see
Yep.
them all kind of come together and in a challenge that was admittedly totally crazy. Like we really pushed them with a lot of crazy stuff. Hey,
Yep.
California Party is one. Georgia Party's coming. Don't worry about it. Coming up around roundabout Fright Sprint time. So keep your eyes peeled. But we got all kinds of just amazing community here. I love you all. And I guess this is as good a time as any to transition into our biggest announcement of the evening, besides the promise that
So
our round is
excited.
coming up for everybody, Film Sprint Masters. Besides Fright Sprint 2, the incredible sequel, our first time rehashing a gimmick in
It's
Film
gonna
Sprint
be
history,
bloodier. It's gonna be
potentially.
crazier.
That's right.
More twists, more
There's a chance of
turns.
more nudity. There's a chance of even more murder. Who's to say? And we now have a chance of sequels. So who's to say what we might get?
So
Just this, yeah,
excited.
the Pill 2 twins. I can't wait for it. We have all
Wait
kinds
till
of.
we go to Europe, says Dina. Oh my goodness. I
Yeah,
love it.
that's right. Film Sprint International, and of course,
Mm,
even more than AllStar Challenge, which is going to be a really fun way for people to grow and push themselves for little things and see how much you can do with like a short burst of focus that doesn't
that's
even have
right.
to fit into anything bigger. Um, we got one more thing coming up here, and let me cue up my little reveal because I'm so
I love this. I'm so excited about this challenge that we are opening up
this is a good one
today.
for sure. Yeah, this just challenge opens today, everyone. That's an exciting thing. That's one thing we can tell you before we tell you about what it is. Another thing we can tell you about this is that it's our first ever slow
Slow
film
sprint.
challenge. This is
It's
not.
a
This
slow
is
sprint.
a slow
I'm
sprint. I
excited.
know Dana wanted to call this a film stroll, but this is a challenge that will start today, and the due date for this is September 6th. So you have from now until
Yeah,
September 6th. This round is open to all previous film sprint participants. This round costs $0 to enter. It is a
that's right.
donations only round. And now I can show you the name of it
So
and what it's all
excited.
about. It's the Snyder Cut
Bump,
Challenge.
bump,
That's right.
bump.
It's the Snyder Cut Challenge. Recut, reshoot, resubmit a past film sprint film. The whole challenge is this: take your film sprint submission from the past that you just didn't totally love the final execution. You thought, I loved my idea. I loved where I was going with this, but ultimately, Jeremy and Deming, those jerks who make the rules, made it so I didn't have enough time to finish or restricted me in some other way that kept me from getting to the meat of this concept. Well, guess what? It's time.
Yeah.
You're coming back. You get full final cut to submit it, and we do have a few restrictions which I can put up here and show to you at this time. Full details
All
are
the, yeah,
at
on
filmsprint.com. You
filmsprint.com.
can check this out, read
Absolutely.
along with us if you like, but let me show you what we got here. Pretty
And I
simple.
will say, by the way, Dina's calling out in the chat that she has a bunch to choose from.
That's
One
right.
of the rules I want to underscore is actually there's no limit.
That's right.
You can, any of your previous submissions is eligible,
Yep.
and you can submit as many as you would like.
That's right. You can rework and resubmit any past film sprint submission of yours the nice month-long time frame. Um, we don't have a limit on duration. You can include any footage you've already shot, but
That's
there's a
right.
limit to how much new video footage you can include in your film. You can shoot or include new stock footage that accounts for up
Yes.
to 2 new minutes. You can use anything you've already shot,
Yes.
and you can basically go from there. If you, because our Fright Sprint submissions were allowed to proceed without content restrictions, all films in this round are now also exempt from those content restrictions, with the caveat that if you put up anything that we would have trouble streaming, you have to give us a broadcast friendly cut
That's right.
so that we can still air the complete program and give everybody a chance. You can recut more than one of your past submissions. We're going to have a fun screening. We're going to pass the hat around during the screening and just get some folks to, put a little prize pool together. And the prizes are going to be awarded entirely based on audience vote, but we'll open up to any past film sprint judges who want to sit in, do a watch, and just kind of like offer their notes on your final cut. Obviously, these will be judged in a different way. They'll be looked at in a different way, but that is Snyder Cut Challenge. We love it. We're excited about it, and yeah, that's what it is. So, pretty hype.
Luckily, eFilms Pro calling out that their crotch is naturally pixelated like a sim.
Oh, cool.
So
That's
if
convenient.
you are a
Yay. It
sim,
is.
you can woohoo all you like, and
Oh,
we can still
classic.
broadcast it.
Yep, still broadcast it. This is
I'm
really
very
exciting.
excited about
Yeah,
this.
this is a fun one.
I think this is fun because I think that like all of us know, like especially with something
Mm.
that's so time constrained. That's the whole point of this, right? Is it's
Yeah,
necessarily time constrained, but people come up with such good ideas. They didn't quite have enough time to finish tweaking or finish these like edits. I mean, we talk about this a lot in the filmmaker calls and the wrap
yes.
parties. That like everyone wishes they had just a little bit more time. So we're giving you a month.
Give you a month.
Do what thou wilt.
That's right.
We're gonna have like basically a Dropbox that's going to open up on the website. You can go ahead and pop that into as long as you get it to us on or before the 6th of September. It is eligible. And again, everybody's going to get really granular feedback from people who are familiar with your work. So you're going to have like
That's right.
constructive, awesome guidance from our professionals. And we're going to screen your old films and have fun rewatching that. We would love, some of your commentary there as well.
Sure.
And I think it's just going to be like such a blast to look back at all these amazing films and see maybe where your true vision lies. See
Yeah.
if we really do live in a society.
We've definitely had complaints from filmmakers before that they wish they had an extra even 5 or more minutes
Mhm.
for their films because of how much they'd shot. Well, guess what? You can show us what that would look like. We got we're making one day for full tilt Indulgence. It'll be the screening day for this round. And this is just a really I'm excited about this one too,
Yeah.
especially to just see also even if you are happy with something you had, if you have the opportunity to add 2 more minutes, that's another way to do it. We, I appreciate this comment from Jason seeking a foreign film challenge. We'll probably get to that in the future. Um, that's an interesting idea. That's one for the hopper, I would say. We got a big hopper full of like half-formed ideas.
Yeah. Actually, could you address one question in the
Yes,
chat?
please.
Where is this Snyder from? Could you give
Oh,
us a little origin?
sure. Well, actually, I mean, I'll give Devin credit for the naming of this round. Um, but yeah, the Snyder cut is a reference to the fact that multiple uh, versions of Dan Snyder's
Or
DC
Zack Snyder.
films. I'm sorry, what did I say? Did I say Dan Snyder? Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking
Yeah.
about the owner of the Washington football team, Zack Snyder. Oh my goodness, Zack Snyder, of course. Um, he directed Batman vs Superman. He directed Justice League, and for both those
The
films and other
2004
films,
Dawn of the Dead.
that's right, of course. But I
Mm.
mean, as far as the ones that I know that he did recuts of, um, he recut these films in like really long, some might say indulgent forms. Like for example, his recut of the Justice League was 4 hours long and was presented in 4:3, as of course is our announcement. This announcement was built in 4:3 to preserve our artistic vision. At any rate, that's all. It's just a reference to the idea of coming back around. You could also, the director's cut challenge was a name we had on the board for this, but ultimately because we didn't want it to just limit it to directors, any person you can if you were an actor in this film and you can get a handle on the footage and you want to submit your own cut, like please do. If you were not the original editor, that does not mean you have to be the person who submits this cut. Any person can recut any film that they were in. We're asking to limit this to films you were in, not to offer alternate cuts of other people's films.
Oh no, that sounds
Um,
mean.
that
Yeah.
could come off a little mean, so we're not doing that. Yeah, and it's also, I think, an exciting opportunity to kind of like rehone that critical eye. I think a thing that we don't always get a chance to do in these rounds, certainly we've seen from the filmmakers, is you don't always get a chance to take that moment and sit back and really like examine what you've done, and look at the work and try to like anticipate how it might be viewed, or just kind of take that extra critical pass, or three. Sometimes it's really helpful to wake up fresh and look at a project and just have eyes that haven't been buried in it to kind of see what you can do, and what small tweaks might instantly pop out when you take a new look at it.
That's
Given this
right.
this space kind of gives you that opportunity. Another way to kind of get there, in the process, and like they say, editing is just another writing pass. So if you like everything that's written, but then you're looking at it and maybe something didn't come off in the performance, you got to make do with what you have. Having the extra time to analyze what's there and seeing what you can make out of it just by playing around can be a really helpful way to kind of just hone your skill. So take this month if you want to take one of your films and really just get really deep in the editing, like have a great time with it. That's our invitation to you in the Snyder Cut Challenge.
I am so excited.
This is a
I'm so
fun one.
excited also to like rescreen some of these
That's right.
classics. Oh my goodness. Any excuse. But I think that'll be really fun. We're probably gonna do 2 nights of screening so we can do kind
Probably.
of like the OG night and
Mm-hmm.
have some fun with that. Again, like your commentary, you are absolutely invited to participate, to kind of
Yes.
reflect before we screen your
Yeah.
Snyder cut. And actually I think the consensus ended up being on that 4 hour Justice League, which Allie I think called on in the chat as being like probably felt more like it should have been a limited series.
Yeah.
But the consensus was that it was actually kind of great,
It's
and
significantly better than the Justice League film that was released.
it's wild. Yeah.
Like, it's not even a question. A lot of interesting discussion in the chat here about all kinds of weird options for your films.
I
Go
know.
ahead
I
and do
love
whatever
that
you
all
want.
y'all's gears are turning. I
Yeah, we
love
like
it,
to
and
see
I'm
it.
scared, and
I'm
I love it.
terrified. Uh,
I'm in danger.
all right, there, Ralph Wiggum. We have yeah, this is a great one. We're gonna be kind of we're gonna be chilling on this, and we'll be checking back in with it on various streams. So, if you have a question or a process you want to work through, if you have a thing you'd like to do in one of your films and you don't know how, I got some TriStep Tuesdays between now and the end of this month, and that might be a place to work on those sorts of things. So this is an open thing. This is not a hyper competitive event. It's just an open challenge to just kind of better yourselves as filmmakers. It's going to be great. Um,
No, I definitely I do want to underscore though,
That's
like
just so
Jeremy's invitation to participate
yeah.
in TriStep Tuesdays. Like as somebody that herself participated in
Yes.
a demonstration,
That's right.
I learned some new skills. I had a great time, and I think that like it's a cool forum to be able to do that and to kind of figure that out live. And Jeremy's like an actual professional, and
Thank you.
I mean leverage that shit. Why not? And also it'll help teach other people. It's nice.
It is
Do
nice. It's
it.
fun. I'm a big fan. Um, I could we string parts of all our individual films as Dina? Well, I'm not going to tell you no. I mean, that's a fascinating idea. If you want to focus on one film and hone it, you're welcome to do that. But the rule is you can't shoot new footage, and you can't add more than 2 minutes of stuff that wasn't shot for your film. So if you're going to string together your films, you can only have a total of 2 minutes of footage from other films. If you're trying to cross over one of your movies with another one of your movies, you can't take footage that takes up more than 2 minutes to do that beyond the original of one film. Like for each recut, you can only add 2 minutes. Does that make sense? Am I making sense? You could do multiple recuts, but yeah. I'm fascinated by this wonderful Wicker Man chat. But that's basically the idea. You can submit a recut of each of your films that you've done, or just one. If the idea of going through your whole oeuvre and giving it another shot seems overwhelming, that's all we're asking you to do. Just take one. It's
I
gonna be
would
great.
be fascinated by the contiguous story wrought by Dina's like
I mean,
canon.
I'm just concerned about Dina turning in a 50-minute submission that's all of her films glued together. Is what I'm saying. That's my note on
I don't
that.
know why concern is the word you're using. I'm
Concern's
giddy.
probably okay. You're right. That's a fair point. I guess what I'm saying is I'm aware of the possibility. Oh boy. All right. Well, our happy hours usually end with some kind of fun check-in. We got any kind of fun check-ins? Anything fun to talk about? Anything just just delightful? I mean, I talked about Jungle Cruise. That was a fun one.
That's right. That's a good question. I have been so tired lately. That's tricky. I don't know. I think my only fun like media recommendation I have is I have somehow over the course of like 5 days listened to almost 70 episodes of this one horror fiction podcast that I discovered.
Is this the one you were just
Um,
talking about with
I
Mary?
think it might be a different one,
Okay.
but like I got Connor turned on to it, and it's to the point of where like when we ate dinner together this evening, we just put it on like we're old people listening to an old timey radio show.
Yeah.
And it's called the Magnus Archives for anyone that's interested. It was actually recommended to me by somebody in Gaudí's Bagels D&D group because I had my first ever D&D game recently. I created a character that was a two-headed deceptive blonde named Clucifer because it's like what if Satan solved crimes. Anyway, somebody in
Ooh.
that group recommended the Magnus Archives to me. Some of the things I like about it: a soothing British narrator.
Yes.
It's spooky episodic horror fiction that over time you begin to notice patterns. So it's somebody recording cases that they've gotten written submissions of maybe ghosts or ghoulies or strange happenings and whatnot. And I super enjoy it. I think it's phenomenally written. And my only caveat would be like if you get curious about the writer and the host of this podcast and you're like, I wonder what else he does, and then you find out he's in a steampunk band, like don't listen to it.
Okay. That's the boundary. That's the depth. So
It's
that's
real.
if you go past that level of depth, you'll get the bends. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, I got the
Okay.
bends.
Gotta come back up slow.
The
Um,
Magnus Archives. It's spooky, and I want someone to talk about it with.
I would actually like to say that I am laying aside an upcoming Thursday to talk about Dan Harmon's story circle structure and format and approach to laying out of a story. It's a pretty simple kind of 8 step process that I've recently become somewhat fascinated by, and is because it's so easy to relate. So if you want a
Right.
quick and dirty way to approach like telling a complete story, we're gonna do that coming up. Harmon Struggle eFilms Pro knows all about it, and they ought to know they're a champ, defending more than one-time Film Sprint champion. Can't remember the exact number off the top of my head. We've had so many rounds at this point. I think I want to say 3. All right, they're killing it. That's coming up. Okay, I have a media recommendation that
Yeah.
is pretty much the opposite, but somehow also spiritually similar, which is
Okay.
that I fell into recent addition to Netflix, The Mole, the ABC reality series.
Shut the literal fuck up. Is it like the original
It's the
original?
actual, yeah, the original, the first, like hosted by Anderson Cooper. It's incredible. So,
Anderson Cooper hosted that. He's a
yes, he
Vanderbilt.
literally did.
Anderson.
So that okay, let me get you on in just to like episode 1 is like the contestants all arrive, and then in comes Anderson Cooper on a helicopter with like a North Face jacket, and like cargo pants. And he gets out, he walks up to them, he like introduces himself as Anderson
Was he still
Cooper.
trying to pretend to be straight? Why was he wearing
I
cargo
was fascinated
pants?
by it because he was very quickly like they started talking about that he was gay in season 2, which I've already gotten to. There's only 2 seasons on there right now. I'm mad about it. Celebrity Mole is season 3. Maybe that's why they didn't continue, but it's awesome. So the anyway, at the end of the season, the premise of the show is like one person sabotaging a team effort to build a pot. Each week they take a quiz, and whoever has the least correct information about who the mole is eliminated. So if
Like
like
reverse guess who or something?
kind of, and then at the end they reveal who the mole is, and then the last episode, the second to last episode, is them taking their last quiz, the like because there's 3 people left, the mole and 2 potential winners. And then the whole last episode is like, okay, we're going to reveal who won in the first like 5 minutes. And then it's like 40 minutes of video packages that are like, first off, every person basically getting praised. Like, it's so sweet. Oh, we loved this guy. We didn't ever think he could really be the one. He was such a nice guy. Like, about every person.
He's the mole.
There's like like the only even slight beef, which was that one person said a mean name to the other person, was squashed in the first like 2 minutes, and then everybody was just like chilling. It was very like 2000s. Oh, what a fun adventure we had throughout Europe, kind of a vibe.
Yeah.
Um, and then yeah. Anyway, I highly recommend it. Very watchable. And so a document of the concept of entertainment from 20 years ago. Like it feels very pre 9/11. Like like it's very like it might have been right in like 2000 2001, but it's also just like the energy of it is all interesting. It's not they don't really like cross over into that thing where there's like ooh yikes, a lot of yikes moments or anything. It's they keep it pretty much down the pipe, but it's
You
just
just blew my mind
ridiculous.
because I was like, wasn't the mole? Because I've never really been, except for that period where like the writers were all on strike, and
Right.
I was like a freshman in college. That's the only period of time in my life I've ever really watched like reality TV. And I remember the only like romantic reality TV show. I've never seen a Bachelor or never seen like any of
Yeah.
these, but I watched all of Joe
Joe
Millionaire,
Millionaire.
which I feel like was in the same time as The Mole. And then
Yes.
when you
Very
said
much.
20 years ago, and
Uh
I was like, no, 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 that was around the same time as Joe Millionaire, which was
oh.
2003,
Just about. Yeah, 18 years ago.
which is nearly 20 years.
Yeah, it's a hard thought. I'll also put in that
Hmm.
same, but there's like it's fun. I like whodunit kind of vibes. The cool thing about it is they also have the mole all give their interviews, their confessionals to the camera all season, also not revealing that they're the mole. So there's no like dramatic irony of seeing that they don't know but we know. I was totally
Okay.
wrong. I did not get it right at all. I was like flabbergasted with the outcome. But
Damn.
how about the Joe Schmo show if we're talking about reality shows? Talk about the Joe
What was
Schmo show real
that?
quick. The Joe Schmo show was a reality show where only one person um, didn't know that everyone else was fake. So it was like they were creating all these situations to just observe this one person.
Oh no.
And at the end, they gave him a
It's just
million
like the
dollars.
Truman Show.
Yeah, but
Well,
at the end,
that's
they
what
give you
happens
a
at the
million
end of
dollars.
yeah, that's what happens at the end of Joe Millionaire too. But
Yeah.
can I okay, actually
It
one of
also
the
had
other ones
I just want to point out because it had a ton
yeah,
of great
sorry.
improv actors, including like Angela Kinsey, who went on to be Angela on The Office, and like there's like a bunch of amazing people on that. Yeah,
That's
no,
that's
that's a good one.
cruel,
Joe Schmo show. It
like
was on
from my
Spike TV.
perspective.
Yeah,
Of course it was. But
I watched a lot of
I
wrestling.
remember
Still do.
so I think this is like of the like the writers strike era or shortly after when they were still like fussing around with it. And I so
Yeah,
for a year in college, I did live in a frat house
that's right.
and like we were all there was a snake and I was the only one that wasn't scared of it. There was like a lot of fun shenanigans, but we would all get together to watch Tool Academy. I don't know if you remember this VH1 reality show where it was like couples coming on and like their boyfriends were tools and they all had tool nicknames. Like the short tool was named Tiny Tool and they had to like compete
Boy.
in challenges to make them like not be tools anymore. And watching that surrounded by all of my frat boyfriends was exceptional while they just like did protein shakers and stuff and we're like I don't see the problem. It was
Is this a
amazing.
good time to bring up the worst show that ever existed on television? Which
Oh
is MTV.
no.
So there's a lot of great MTV dating shows. Next was a great one. I mean, all-time legendary. But and what's that one? Singled Out. Singled Out's a good one.
I do make a lot of next jokes where it's
Sure.
like, got nexted right off the bus. And people
Next.
that's how I can tell if you're young. Because if I say I feel like I got nexted right
$1.
off the bus and they don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
But the one I want to talk about that was on in the like mid. This was on like when I was getting home from high school. It was like some stuff that was on in the background, and it was called the X Effect, and it's like the worst idea ever. So what
Oh
happens
no.
is they get a set of exes who are both in happy relationships, and then they bring
I
both couples to like a resort together, and then they keep like sending off the two exes together, and then they go like, okay, single people who are like now like singled off people who are in relationships but their partners are off together, like we're gonna would you rather watch what's happening or hear what's happening, like,
and you can only choose one.
you
I
can only
remember
choose
this
one
now.
of them. Like it was insanity. It was just like a horrible anxiety experiment that it was like worse than the MTV show Fear in terms of just like unnecessary
Fear is
anxiety
great.
inducement. Fear was great. Yeah, that was a classic and the originator of a whole like visual style. I feel like had we ever seen that camera
Not
pointed right
really.
at you, mounted on your helmet kind of vibe? That was so. That's like a whole look now. Yeah,
And
it
that
was
was
a
like pre
terrible show.
GoPro, so they had to like mount like a whole fucking thing
Yeah,
on you.
that's right. There was a whole lever system and everything. Oh man. Hey,
That's upsetting.
Dina, where are you in Loki? Because I watched Loki and I was looking for you. Like, where do you appear in the background? Can you please let the chat know? For those of you who don't know, Old Soul Dina was a background talent
Artiste.
artiste. That's right. She was artisting in the background.
Mm.
Um, oh yeah, shout out. This didn't even get mentioned, but earlier in the chat somebody mentioned Suicide Squad 2 or the new Suicide Squad comes out. I'm
Yeah.
super interested to see that. That looks like really fun and stylish, and I like James
It
Gunn.
does
So
look fun. I mean, I loved Birds of Prey a
yes, me
lot.
too.
Like a
Me too.
lot. It was like John Wick, but for like a breakfast
It was
sandwich.
fantastic. I loved it.
Um,
It's probably
absolutely
my favorite
fantastic.
like new DC movie, like
Me
since
too.
at least since like Dark Knight. Like wow.
Same. And like, oh my gosh, unrelated in every single conceivable
Well,
way. For
Shazam
some
was good
reason,
too.
I have Shazam. I
I
loved.
like Shazam a
I
lot.
had I have like a very strange story around the context of me seeing Shazam, but like I watched it twice in a row. I was like some guy's hotel room and it's
Yeah,
fine. And like I like ordered it on like the hotel room twice because I
sure.
loved it so much. And
It's really entertaining.
I was just crying and this guy is just like ordering us more room service and champagne and he's like, "Are you okay? Like why are you crying? Like is anything wrong?" And I was like, "Shazam's just really good." Because I think that's what makes me cry more than anything is like if I really appreciate something.
Well, all right, we got the information here from Dina. It looks like 8 minutes into episode 2, right when Loki walks into the Renaissance Fair, which I guess would be when you got the opportunity to, if I'm remembering this correctly, ask Owen Wilson to get Tom Hiddleston's autograph for you. If I'm remembering that story correctly. Do you know this? This is what I heard.
I'm intrigued.
It's just what I heard. That's just the rumor that's
I
going
didn't
around.
recognize Owen Wilson, she says. I love this.
God.
Dina, you're perfection. You're what we all aspire to. And like, I can't tell you how often we say nice things about you behind your back because it's frequent. We're such fans. Holy shit. Jeremy and I,
Yeah.
Connor and I, my
Yeah.
dog and I, we all talk about all the people in my life.
Your dog's always like, bark, but like in a super approving way.
Work.
Oh, speaking of which, Dina sent me oh my god, I do have to relay another story from Dina. She sent me a picture of her Bark Ruffalo sweatshirt, also available in the merch store. And this picture was taken in JFK Airport before she apparently almost died on a flight back to Savannah, where they, like, she said it was like touch and go. They almost landed and then had to take off again twice due to bad weather, and then were eventually redirected to like a whole nother city. But you know what they say, any good landing is the one you walk away from, or something like that, where the words are in the right order.
What?
Point is, Dina survived a near plane wreck. And
That's a lot.
We're glad
That's
that we
a
have
lot.
her. And yeah, that's all. Tell that to Leonard. Dina also sent me. All right, I'll end our happy hour by showing everybody Dina's merch design. How about that?
I was hoping you would do this. Oh my gosh.
This is what we're gonna end with. So Dina submitted a merch design, which I don't think I would be allowed to put on our on our merch store without getting in trouble. But let's take a look here. All right, so she wanted to make Rat Tail Randy merch for us. There you go. Yeah. So this is the this is Dina's merch design submission. I don't think we can put that up there. Just to be clear, this is a Rat Tail Randy shirt because it's a rat with a bush juggling Oreos. Couldn't find a mullet hairdo for a rat, she adds in the comments. Appreciate you, Dina. Dina said 2 attendants almost duct taped a guy to his seat. What is it? Is it just my social media feeds that are exploding with people going absolutely out of their minds on planes in the last couple of weeks? Is that just me, or are people actually
I think that's well, like, as somebody that's traveled recently and had like not good travel experiences, yeah, I think people done forgot how to fucking act.
That's a fact.
And it's incredibly draining, and it's making me more and more agoraphobic again because I get to talk to you on my computer box.
That's right.
And then I hang out with my dog and my handsome man at home, and that feels like plenty.
Seems like enough.
And I don't want to hang out with other people.
Oh, people don't know how to be on planes anymore. People do not know how to drive, apparently.
I'm so scared all the time when I'm in public now because people are such trash.
Ugh. Yeah, right on. Oh, we got a new person in the chat. Hi, I am Herbie. Welcome to the thing. Yeah, we normally host film competitions, including our most recent one, which I get to put back up on screen here just to show everybody because it's probably our most exciting new thing of today, at least, right? I mean,
wait, and can I also say I am Herbie if you'd like. So you said that you work with Full Frame Doc Festival. I don't know if you're familiar with them, Jeremy. Something I was hoping to look up, but like if you want to plug your dang self in that chat, I would love to pimp you.
Yep, get plugged and pimped. That's what we're all about.
Plugged and pimped, indeed.
Hey, check it out if you're interested. Snyder Cut Challenge. If you've submitted to us before, Take this month and recut, reshoot, and resubmit. Full details are at filmsprint.com because that's where we keep all of our details.
Link into
Ooh,
the Full
okie
Frame
doke.
Fest
That's exciting.
in
What's
the
going on
chat
there? Let's put
here.
that up on the screen. Let's give them
Yeah,
some
pull it
love.
up. This looks really neat.
All right, let's show it. Heyo, what's up? It's Full Frame Fest out of Durham, North Carolina. Hey, we were just talking about a Carolina just moments ago. This is cool.
Oh, and you have year-round events and
We love
filmmaker
that.
Q&As. That's really neat.
We love those things. They got an about page. How about that? All right, upcoming events. Oh, no listed matching events currently. That's okay. We're excited. Q&As, all kinds of stuff.
Oh, there's educational options. That's
that.
really neat.
That's awesome. We've started doing a lot of that content, but I really like the way that y'all have organized it here. That's lovely. Hey, speaking
Amazing.
of which,
Thank you for joining the chat.
we have some upcoming special guests that are going to be joining us on the chat who are actual professionals with experience in entertainment. We're going to have more information on that coming in the weeks to come. But I will tease that one of them is an actor from movies and one of them is a professional wrestler. So we got some interesting insights into the world of entertainment coming into the channel in the near future. Okay. Yeah, this is I'm still looking at the Full Frame Documentary Film Festival over here. We love this.
It's incredible.
Love it.
Thank you for bringing this to our attention. This is so neat.
Yeah. We do basically film competitions almost every month, just about every 6 weeks or so on average, where there have since 2020 been shelter in place friendly, so people can do them from anywhere. We do all online screenings right now, although we're working our way back into theaters, pending the Delta variant. Who's to say what's going on with that? But yeah. We got all kinds of cool stuff. Ooh, I'm interested in this. eFilms Pro is looking for people to figure out how to partner with on the Renegade Festival in Marietta, Georgia. That's cool. We'll look into
Marietta
that.
is like a hop, skip, and a jump since California people, if y'all don't know.
That's
from
right.
Atlanta.
Yeah.
That sounds fucking lovely.
All right, that hop, skip, and a jump makes me think of my one last question for the evening, which is: have you watched any of the Olympics, Deming?
Yeah, I did gymnastics a lot when I was younger.
Really?
And I like
I did not know that about you.
Yep. So when I was
cool.
I think if you've ever seen like pictures of me when I was really little and I had like really short poofy hair, it's because I wanted to be like the gymnasts in the Olympics really badly. I got tall early and then just stayed that height. So they were like, you probably just like won't be good at gymnastics. So I stopped doing it.
Turns out.
But I'm obsessed. I've mostly just been watching gymnastics. I cry like a bunch. It's fucking ridiculous. But I haven't been paying a ton of attention to a lot of the other things except for that weird like Belarus scandal where somebody got enrolled by the government in an event that they did not train for, and now they're like wanted by the government. That's all I know. What about you?
I did hear about that Belarusian runner who I guess got into the Polish embassy in Tokyo, if I heard it right.
Okay, that's
good. So that's the good news. I thought that, I was stoked to watch Simone Biles do the balance beam. That was awesome. It was like, that felt like a very cathartic moment for that whole story in the Olympics. I thought that, I've been watching some of the fun sports for like women's rugby sevens, women's 3-on-3 basketball are enjoyable.
Interesting. Yeah.
I like watching the freaking like the ping pong is incredible, the table tennis. But like
that's bonkers to me. Yeah.
Like, I found the one channel on Peacock that has sort of decent Olympics coverage, and it's just called Team USA. At least you get that thing where you switch between different events, and it's like that's what I liked about watching the Olympics on TV. Was like, all right, here like you sit down in the evening, and it's like here's some of this event, here's some of this event, but you like stick with it for a minute, I have to say this like I'll say this Peacock coverage as a sports broadcasting expert is bumming me out because of the way that it's presented on Peacock, which is that it's like, okay, you turn on this channel and it's like a sport, and then smash into a commercial. There's no like Like, there's none of that like
Oh,
Olympics fanfare.
like
That's
the
what I'm looking for from a
gravitas of it
production.
all and
They don't. I
stuff.
don't get to
Yeah.
hear that John Williams score, and they don't go like the Olympics presented by NBC.
Yeah.
It's just like, wow, and there she is, and that's third place. T-Mobile is here to show you how to buy a phone. It was just
Because
like,
it's already bummer adjacent because there's like two people in the stands.
yeah, it's so tough. It's like, come on, like you just like you gotta. I mean, that's because that's the stuff you can do. That's the stuff you can love up from the home store wherever your studio is. Just
Yeah.
like put the little bumpers in. But and especially if it's just being edited and put up in chunks, you can just put them in around the commercial breaks, which are unskippable
Right.
even if you pay for no ads. But like, I just I want to sit down and watch like all the semifinals and the final of like a swim meet. Like that's what I'm into about the Olympics. Is like, all right, we're gonna watch like four different swimming events back to back to back to back, and it's just delightful. Oh, thanks for the link to that Renegade Film Festival eFilms Pro. Uh, I'm I'm loving it. It's just been coming up on an hour here, Deming, for our happy hour. Uh, this was great. This
This
was a
was
good
really
one.
lovely.
One more time, I'm gonna
Thank
put it
you all
out
for
and show
joining us.
everybody what's coming up.
I'm loving the chat, loving meeting new people in the chat, loving the support. I'm glad there's enthusiasm about the Snyder Cut challenge. I think it's going to be a blast.
Let me show.
Oh,
Let's look at that again.
nobody I heard was really good, Dina. I do want to check that out.
Oh,
But
Nobody's really
tonight
fun. I totally recommend Nobody. Really
I'm watching an
enjoyable.
Irish murder documentary tonight in bed with my hot man because that's
Nobody's
all I got energy for.
Nobody's good one. Shout out to Bob Odenkirk. Get well soon. Person I've never met, but I have good wishes for.
But and also who was in I think you should leave. So
Yeah, that's right. Tell him. Tell her. Doubles of most of them and triples of a few of them. All right. Yeah, Nobody was a ton of fun. There's a literal cat saved in the first 8 seconds just to make sure you're on
amazing.
Bob Odenkirk's side. He literally pulls a cat out of his jacket. It's like the first thing he does.
That's
He's
incredible.
sitting there handcuffed. He lights a cigarette and he pulls a fucking cat, a little kitten that he had just saved out of his jacket. It's incredible. And then
Like
the
as though
rest
you wouldn't be on his side. Look at his face.
100%. Yeah, look at him.
I met Bob Odenkirk once. He was much nicer than David.
I have no problem believing that. David Cross once called my beautiful hometown of Santa Rosa like a haven of broken glass and like horrible abandoned warehouses. Which I was like, what part of Santa Rosa were you hanging out in? Where did they not take you? Like,
Roseville.
bummer. He just flew into fucking Santa Rosa Airport and didn't go anywhere, I guess. Uh, yeah, Bob Odenkirk does seem like a real sweetheart. It's like I watched him do a thing where he was just showing what exercises he was doing to get in shape for Nobody. He was doing like pull-ups on a tree branch in his backyard, like talking to the camera. He's like, well, I turned 60, but blah, 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 and I just wanted to get after it. And I was like, fucking good for you, man.
It's like
And he's
watching
a
Ruth Bader
badass in
Ginsburg
that
walk
movie. It's
out.
so fun to watch. He pulls it off. It's incredible.
Stellar.
Yeah,
I
it's got a
shall
fun
check
style,
it
too.
out.
Yeah,
That sounds
definitely. Put that on
lovely
your
as
list.
all heck.
Yeah, we know we've recommended Old. I think we talked about it on the channel or not. I don't know, but
I don't think we
watch
talked
Old.
about Old on the channel,
Old
but
is so good.
I have like a lot of thoughts about Old. I think it's great. I don't know. I got a lot of thoughts. Connor and I talked about it for like probably 2 hours straight, like in a cafe afterwards. Like we had like a great time watching it, talking about it. I think it's fun and it's interesting. It is based on a graphic novel that's only like 80 pages called Sandcastle that I do recommend. It's a French graphic novel that's really interesting. But yeah, check out Old. I don't know. I'm really fucking excited. I still haven't seen the new Escape Room. I really want to see that. I'm a huge dork, so that's not shocking.
Yep.
I saw the new Purge twice in theaters. I think we did talk about that.
I did love the new Purge. We talked about that. This was great though. We might do we'll have some fun programming and content for you coming up. We'll be back with TriStep Tuesdays on Tuesday. But until then, this was a happy hour. Don't forget to go check out the Snyder Cut Challenge official rules and get started whenever. Those aren't due for a month, so put it off until the last 2 days, I suppose, right?
And it'll feel like a sprint all along.
It'll feel like a sprint.
The sprint was
all
inside of you all along.
Just like the
Oh my
plot
God.
to Carnal Destination. We appreciate you. Y'all are wonderful. We love this lovely community. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight.
Don't go to any beaches that make you old.
Yeah, if you go